guys, so last week I picked up this guy here, which is the Viva Glam holiday set for this year from MAC, and it's called the Stroke of Midnight Viva Glamorous. So this is the set that features the original Viva Glam, which was the #1, which is like my favourite colour. This burgundy deep blue based red. It's easily one of my favourite reds by MAC. And MAC also recently released this matching lip gloss to go along with it in the re-release of the #1. And it's an absolutely beautiful shade as well. It corresponds pretty much perfectly with the lip gloss. It's maybe a tiny bit lighter, but it's perfect over it. So I just wanted to do a quick tutorial showing you how I like to use this lipstick. You also get this bag with it this year, which you can use as your makeup bag or, you know, your purse or whatever. So it's a cute one to have. And of course, all the proceeds go towards charity. I am going to be doing a separate video on it just to tell you a little bit about where the proceeds go, what about the charity and stuff like that. But in the meantime, just keep on watching this to see the tutorial, and thanks a million for watching, guys. After letting my moisturiser settle into the skin for several minutes, I used some blotting papers to remove any excess oil that might have been left behind. I applied some stick foundation directly to my skin and used a densely packed brush to blend this out all over the face. Next, I dotted some under eye concealer along the darkest area of my under eye and then used a synthetic brush to blend this out all around the eye area. I then used a thicker consistency cream concealer on any other little red areas on the face or anywhere where I felt I needed a little bit more coverage, using the same brush and my fingers to blend it out then. For this look, I decided to do something a little bit different and do my contouring and highlighting using cream foundations. I mixed two of the lighter colours and applied this to the higher point of my face where I wanted any highlights to be. You don't have to be neat at all at this stage. And then using a shade several shades darker than my own skin tone, I applied this to the hollows of my cheeks and anywhere else where I wanted to contour. And I switched from my fingers to a tiny wee synthetic brush just to be a little bit more precise when applying the shade around the nose area. Then all you need to do is blend it out. So you can use either a sponge or a brush. I used the same brush I used on my foundation or for my foundation, and I mixed this with using my fingers as well. I started off by blending out the lighter area and then went into the contours and just made sure everything was really well blended and buffed out. And I moved back to a smaller synthetic brush again, just to be a little bit more precise around the nose area. And I set all this in place by pressing a light translucent and mattifying face powder over the top. Next, I moved on to grooming my eyebrows, and I chose a pencil that very closely matches my eyebrow hairs in colour and just used this to fill in any little sparse areas. And I set the hairs in place using a clear brow gel and brushing the hairs in the direction I wanted them to sit in. Moving on to the eyes, I chose a cream eyeshadow and used my fingers to apply this to the moving part of my lids. And then before this had a chance to dry, I pressed this sparkly metallic eyeshadow over the top so that it would really grab onto its base, because it is a little bit bitty and I wanted to avoid as much fallout as possible. And I repeated this on the other eye. And then I applied a very matte mid-tone brown eyeshadow colour using a blending brush into the socket to create a little depth. And I also added a wee bit of the same brown to the outer half of my lower lash line for a little bit more definition. To add a little bit more interest, but subtly, to the eye area, I used this gorgeous iridescent powder by Fardell, which is this beautiful white-blue duochrome, and applied it to the inner corners of the eyes where I normally get quite dark. And then using a shimmering highlighting pencil, I applied this to the arches of my brows and blended it out using my fingers. I applied a couple of coats of a volumizing mascara to my top lashes and then used the tip of the wand to apply some mascara to the bottom lash line on the outer half again as well. I had applied a lip conditioner prior to the makeup, which was well settled in by now. So I applied some lip primer to the lips and patted that in with my finger. Then using Vino Lip Pencil by MAC, I applied this all over the lip line, first filling in the lips and then slowed down to perfect the outline. And for the star of the show, I'm using the Viva Glam 1 lipstick by MAC, and I applied this first of all straight from the bullet all over the lips just because it's a bit quicker, and then I used a lip pencil and started to be a little bit more precise towards the edge of the lips, and then went back over the very outer corners using my Vino lip pencil again to create more depth, and used the brush again just to make sure it was blended well together. And to finish off the lips, I applied some of the Viva Glam 1 lip gloss using my brush to the very center of the lips, which creates a lovely lift and dimension to the lips. And then to finish off the entire look, I applied a lovely warm blusher to the apples of my cheeks and pulled this up towards the temple. And that's it done. Thanks a million for watching, guys. Slán!